Wow, thank you so much for being here to honor Ken Hover, right? Ken, he's a leader, he's a mentor, he's an innovator, he's a teacher, and I met Ken through Kevin Folliard. Kevin was my PhD advisor at UT Austin, and Kevin had the honor to spend a summer working for Ken in his lab, okay? And what an impressionable thing for a young undergraduate who doesn't really know what they want to do, to get to go up to Ithaca, New York and spend a summer with Ken. And I still remember, he said, Ken and Kevin were actually talking, and Ken asked him, hey, what do you know about concrete? And Kevin said, I know nothing. And he said, great, we'll teach you everything you need to know. And that's the confidence that Ken gave to Kevin, and he really inspired Kevin. And those stories of that summer were something that Kevin would tell again and again in class, okay? And get his students fired up, get them engaged. And he gave Kevin his love for concrete, and Kevin gave that to me. Okay, and so for that, I will always be super indebted to Ken. But this is what I thought Ken looked like, okay? Seriously, I met Ken in Dallas in about 2000 at an ACI meeting, and this is what I had on my mind, okay? And Ken did not disappoint, okay? Did not disappoint, okay? Because going to see Ken give a presentation was like going to see Rush, okay? Seriously, it was something you got geared up for, you got fired up for, you never know what was going to happen. And for the younger audience, it's like going to see Taylor Swift, okay? On the Eras Tour, all right? If you can get a ticket, right? Just because people would stand up all the way outside, around the outside of the room, to try to get a piece, try to learn, try to see what Ken was going to bring for that day, all right? I mean, it was awesome, and you're blown away, okay? Seriously, in the audience, you just couldn't believe your mind, and your mind was like blown, all right? I mean, this is me after seeing Ken for the first time, okay? But no, seriously now, Ken has amazing gifts, and a lot of people have talked about those gifts today, right? But Ken was fun, okay? He always brought fun to every single thing that he did. He always brought humor. He made people laugh, made people feel connected to what he was talking about, what was going on. And he had these amazing insights, these things that we'd be like, how did I not think about that? How have I never seen things like that, right? And it just made you want to be better. It made me want to be better. Every single time I went to go see him talk, I saw what was possible, what was out there. But Ken was creative, right? Had these amazing things, right? And he was extremely innovative, not only in his teaching, but in his research as well. And one thing that I like to call Ken, I like to call him a pioneer, all right? Because he would go out and he would not be scared to do things that other people were unsure about, right? And I like quotes, all right? And I think this is one thing Ken taught me. You can always spot the actual pioneers by the arrows in their back, okay? And Ken has healed from a lot of arrows that he's received in his back. And you know, pioneers, they go out and do things that no one's ever thought was possible. But Ken did stuff in press current, okay? He did stuff in X-ray CT, looking inside of concrete in 3 dimensions. I mean, I've done that stuff. He did it before anybody, okay? Anybody. He did curing, how important it was, how essential it was. He did freestyle performance, right? Big deal. Super influential guy. Just done foundational work in all of these areas, okay? And so we owe him a massive thanks for that. But what did I learn from Ken? What did I learn from him? I learned it was okay to be different, all right? Because I'm kind of not like everybody sometimes. And I think we all have that in us. We all have that piece of us that's a little bit different than somebody else, that we're not sure if we actually fit in. But Ken showed us it was okay to be different and share that with other people. It was awesome to be different. He always taught me how to have fun. If I'm not having fun, then I'm doing something wrong, all right? And that's something I've definitely learned from Ken, all right? He taught me to always be technically sound, Okay, I don't care how much extra work you have to do to get that last data point. I don't care. Before you make a statement, you make sure that those words are important. Words are important. That's another thing I learned from Ken Hover. Words are very important. You got to get those words right. You have to always be technically sound, and also tell great stories. Because when you can give somebody something that they can remember, that they can share with other people, that idea spreads. And I love this quote, ideas that spread win. How many of you have seen Ken give a talk and shared that story with someone else? Anybody in the room done that before? Boy, there's so many hands up there. That's Ken giving that story, giving that presentation again and again and again and again all over the place. And he showed me how important that was and what I did. If you can make people remember these things, that's so important. But what was it like to work with Ken? Okay? And I know many of you get to share your stories about that today, so I get to share my version. He has high standards. He expects a lot, right? And that's awesome. That's how you get to be a lot, by having high standards. He pushed me. He made me better every single time I was with him. I can tell you that. We had a long-distance relationship, right? Right? We didn't see each other a ton, but every minute together, I felt like I was getting better. And I thank you for that every single time. And he made me better, right? He made me better, okay? Undoubtedly. But he was always there to support me every single time. And I'm going to tell you a short story here. So I was at UT Austin, right? And the sun was just coming up over the beautiful Austin campus, all right? Actually, I was out at the Pickle campus, and I was working on my PhD dissertation. It was a day or two before I was actually going to present. And Ken shows up unannounced in the lab, unannounced in Austin, Texas, okay? He comes walking in and says, "What are you working on? What are you doing?" And we go over that dissertation. We picked a key chapter in that dissertation, a paper actually, and we went over it line by line by line. Now my office mates at the time were like, "What's Ken Hover doing here? Like, what's going on?" Okay? And they couldn't believe that Ken was there, and they were like, "He's going over your dissertation line by line?" Oh my God, they couldn't believe the dedication that they had. It made me feel so touched, right? It made me feel so good. And then afterwards, went to Dairy Queen, right? For some fun and a bun, right? It was unbelievable, right? But I'll tell you, of all the thing about Ken's superpower is how he makes you feel, okay? That truly is his superpower. And I tried to put it in words, and I thought I'd just tell a story instead, okay? It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? It's like Dorothy, right? Everything's great, your life is great. You think you understand everything. And then you get picked up and thrown around by a tornado, right? And then you land, and you dust yourself off, and you open the door, and the world's in color. And that's what it's like to be with Ken Hover. I mean that. I mean that. There is a clear delineation in people's lives. There is before Ken and after Ken, okay? And for me, I just saw the world in a totally different place. I saw what was possible in a totally different way. I saw the contribution I could make in a totally different way. I saw who I could become in a totally different way, okay? And so on that journey, right, Ken definitely gave me brains, taught me to think in totally different ways and new ways. He definitely gave me heart. He made me realize how to connect with people, how to think about other people, how to give to other people, because that's what our research is doing. That's what our teaching is doing. He gave me courage. He showed me I could go out there and make a difference, that I could go out and really do these things, take these arrows, that these arrows were worth taking so that I could make the world a better place. So Ken, you're my Dorothy, man. You're my Dorothy. I really appreciate that. And I thought it was fitting that we honor Ken. Oh, I forgot about this one. Graduating is amazing. it makes you feel awesome to have that accomplishment, to do that. It is a cool, amazing, amazing feeling. But I'll tell you a secret, and I bet every one of you already know this already, or if you don't know it, you've sensed it. And this is another lesson Ken taught me. That there's all these things that we get in life. There's all these accomplishments we reach in life. But it's not about that. It's about who you become along the way, right? So it's not what you achieve in life, but it's who you become as a person due to those achievements. And Ken, you've never said any of those three things to me, but you've taught me those three things at a level that I've never known them before, all right? And so for that, I'm always, always going to be deeply indebted to you, all right? But we are in New Orleans, right? We are in the area of fun and freaky and different, right? And it's so fitting that we're honoring Ken in this world of difference, right? Where we have different folks out there. And Ken, this is the place of kings and queens, right? We have king cake, very, very popular thing to eat around here. We are within walking distance of the Smoothie King Center. And Ken, I want to bestow upon you the crown. By the honor within me, Ken, you are the king of ACI. I really appreciate it. And I need everyone's help, okay? I need everyone's help because we have a chant so I need you to do. I need everyone to yell together. I want all the way down the other end of the hall people to hear this, all right? We're going to do a chant of I love Ken Hover. You okay? Are you in for that? And I don't want this just to be one. I want us to keep it going, right? I love Ken. Can we do that for me? Can you do that for me? 1, 2,